We have looked at member functions of a class being defined inside the class itself and outside the class. When it is defined outside the class, we provide a scope resolution operator, and we specify the class name of which it belongs to. Okay, so now let's see. I have also talked of inline functions, where the declaration and the definition both are at the same place. Okay, so now what we are going to do is look at defining the function outside the class, but after compilation it becomes part of the class itself. Okay, now let me just write a program, and then we will see what I mean by inline functions, making a external function as a inline function. So finding the square of a number using inline functions. Okay, so as usual, include iostream.h #include conio.h, and now let's define the function for calculating the square. So int, it's going to return an int square, and the square will accept an integer a. So square of an integer will always be integer. Okay, so now what is it going to return? It is going to return, and here itself I specify a into a. So it is going to return a into a. Okay, so I have specified the function. Now let's write the main function. So void main, and now let's say int x comma y. Okay, so x is equal to square of 5, right? So I have called the square function, and I am storing the result in x, and I am going to display the result square of okay, let's anyhow, since we are doing it, let's actually accept this. Enter the number, okay, c in x. Okay, rather than making it a constant, let's make it a let this be a, let this be b. So we are going to pass, and we require b here also. Okay, so square of, now it becomes that much of more easier because now it's a true variable. Okay, square of is equal to what? Is equal to x, and then end line. Similarly for y, since anyhow I am accepting this, I don't need to make it a double this one. So we have this, and finally get ch, so that it waits for us to see what is happening. Okay, run. Now what does it say? Statement missing a semicolon. Int c, okay, here. Okay, 3, square of 3 is 9. Now in this particular case, what is happening is that when the square function is being called, it usually involves invoking a function, passing parameters to the function, and allocating storage for the local variables. So all this takes some extra time and memory. Now if you want to avoid that extra resources being utilized, what we can do is we can say inline here. Now the moment we say inline, what happens is wherever this square function, wherever it is being called, say for example here, what it will do is it will replace that call with the function itself at the time of compilation. So the advantage is what? If I am going to use square in say 10 different places in a complex program, now in all those 10 places it is going to put the actual definition of the square there in all the 10 places. The advantage is what? Those extra resources will not be required, and naturally which will speed up the program execution. Now let's run this. Okay, now let's say 4. Now we can't really make out the speed difference, primarily because it's a very simple program. First of all, the function itself hardly does anything except multiplying a number by itself. So if it is a complex function which does a lot of processing, then its impact on the performance will be felt. Okay, so this is how inline functions are used. So wherever square function is being called, say here, the definition is being, so it is as good as me copying this entire method in 10 different places. So instead of me copying it, in which case it becomes a major problem, because if there is a change I have to make changes in all the 10 places. Whereas if I am going to use inline functions, what happens? It is actually defined in one place, but at the time of compilation, that definition is copy pasted in a way wherever that particular function call is being invoked. Okay, so that is what is inline functions. So remember I was talking of external functions external to a class. Now we can make it inline by using this inline keyword. So even though in the code it looks like as if it is outside, but actually it would be, after compilation, be part of the class itself. Okay, so final run, let's say 6:36. Okay, so let's save this source and let's say inline. Okay, inline and window, close, file, quit.